What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project, the Jaguar XJ220. This is a lovely, lovely car. Picked it up from the junkyard in absolutely terrible condition. I don't think I've had one quite this bad in a while. I've been buying a lot from auction, though. Still got a good deal on it, though. I bought it for 13, or a little over 13,000, and I can already sell it for 15,000, almost £2 profit, just by returning it to the garage. So that's pretty sweet. As regards to this car today, this is a DLC car from the Jaguar DLC. No surprise there. It has got this beautiful V6 twin turboed engine, which is absolutely insane. I can't wait to get stuck into this, see what performance parts we can throw on it, and how much horsepower we can squeeze out of it from that factory 542. So that's quite a lot from the factory. Hopefully we can increase that by quite a considerable amount. But we have a lot to do to this car. It is in absolutely awful condition. So let's get started. Let's get it over to the car wash and get this beauty cleaned up. Here we are then at the car wash. Obviously being a right-hand drive, you spawn on the right-hand side. Confused me a little bit there, but let's get this one cleaned up. Glad that's not as foamy as it was for the Skoda. What colour is this? I have no idea. That looks in such bad shape. I don't think it is officially a colour. Maybe sort of like a bluey silver, not really sure. Let's get the interior done and get it back on the lift and get that V6 ripped out, ready to start working on it. Look at that subframe before we even get stuck in. You can see it there. It is held in by that, which is pretty cool. Obviously, it being rear-wheel drive, it does mean we need to get the wheels off first. So I'm just going to crack on with that. Then we need to get these rear drive axles off. Let's get you off. No starter. Obviously not attached, and let's get this gearbox out. I did already notice that there was no oil pan, as you can see in there, which means we can just rip this engine straight out of the XJ220. Engine cover open. Let's get you ripped out. Yes, come out nice and easy. That is what we like to see. Oh, it lifts up that part as well. Huh, didn't realise that. Nice. Well, anyway, let's start stripping all these body panels off. Let's just jump into the suspension. Let's get this front wheel off and have a look what we've got here today. Obviously, we've got the front suspension. That sounded weird. Front suspension and cross member here looking quite bad. Sorry for itself. Just a double wishbone up and down with the rear shock, with the front shock. And it's the same again on the back. Obviously, we just got that bit of exhaust to take out as well. So I'm going to crack on with this, and then we'll get that engine bay sorted. Not that I think there's much in there. And then we'll get that engine stripped down. I'm looking forward to working on that one. So I'll catch you guys in a few minutes. The suspension is all stripped down. We've just got to get this engine bay sorted out now. Get the rest of this car ready. The only thing in here is the lovely fuse box. So I'm just going to get on and get this one stripped real quick. And then we're going to jump into the engine room. Going to get the engine on the stand. And we're going to get that one stripped down and ready to work on. That is literally everything cleared off this car now. Thank you very much. All the body panels. I did miss a window for those of you wondering or that could see it and were probably shouting at me. So now let's get this one on. Let's give this a go. Where do we begin? This is a beast of an engine. Belts instead of chains up here. That's new. Let's have a look. Double overhead cams, obviously, with some spark plugs in there. I'm surprised that that's belt driven and not chain driven. Let's get this big old manifold A off of here. I'm going to get on and get a bit of this done. And in fact, I probably will finish this all off now because there isn't much left. Just like the pistons and stuff like that. Let's see what's under this cover, though. What have we got under here? Maybe this is some timing chains. No, absolutely nothing. Just a random cover for no reason. So, yeah, I'm going to get on and get the rest of this stripped. And then we'll get on and get that frame all welded up, ready for this beautiful car to start going back together. So I'll see you in a few moments. It is a time to get that frame sorted out. So let's bring this welder over to the car and let's get this going. 1900, not bad considering it was at a low 5% or something like that. That looks better. I can see the colour more now. It's definitely much more of a silver colour. Happy with that. Let's get these body panels back on this car. There isn't a lot to this one. You know, there's one page in the shop. I'll just show you that quickly. There is hardly anything to it. That is literally it. That's all you can buy for it, and that is everything. The only thing I didn't need to buy was the front left door. So I'm going to crack on and get all of this done. and I'll meet you back here just before we go over to the paint shop and pick which colour we want. Here it is then, all back together, looking definitely a lot better now. I'm just I'm trying to figure out what colour I want to do this lovely XJ220. I'm unsure. For the interior, I just stuck with the XJ220 seats and wheel just to finish this one off. It's looking really nice. But obviously, and I put my VM XJ220 plates on it. Carbon fibre surround with the white centre on them ones, looking quite nice. I don't know what colour to do this, so I'm just going to head over to the paint shop, see if there are any liveries. I don't think there are, and then pick a colour. I'm really not sure, so I'm going to have a look at the factory options and see where we end up. There are no livery options for this Jag here, just plain what you see. This is a factory colour, sort of like a whitey silver in a metallic. I like the colour. All the factory colours were either a bit over the top or just a bit boring. This one, you know, some people may consider this to be a bit boring, but I've got some ideas. I'm going to match it with some blacks to get that engine bay sort of colourful. Try and get these on the covers, this colour on the covers of the engine, just to make it real pop through there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that works. The wheels, I'm going to keep them standard. I may increase the size a little bit, but I'm not going to paint them. I'm just going to leave them in their normal, natural finish. And underneath, I'm probably just going to black it out with a bit of this metallic silver in there. Here and there, nothing too special. Maybe try and get the brake calipers like it, the springs like it. Maybe a couple of other bits. We will see how it goes. But this is the colour I've picked. It is a colour I do like. So let's get it back on the lift and let's get this suspension back on and get this car finished off. Here we are then. Everything is painted and ready to go back on. I've done the shocks in black and the springs in the sort of metallic-y, silvery blue on there. Looking really nice on the rear ones. Let's just have a quick look at the front ones. Looking even better with that longer spring on there. Looking really nice. Let's get them on the car and see how this turns out. Now, I said I was going to black most of this out. I changed my mind. I decided I was going to do everything in that lovely silvery metallic blue there. As you can see on that front cross member, it looks gorgeous. I'm very happy with how that has come out. It looks great on there. Well, most of this in the front end is painted in that. The only black on the front is on the shocks, as you just saw, and I'm sure actually it is the same at the back as well. The thing I want to get to is I want to get to the brake calipers. I want to see how they have turned out, because they are supposed to be in that silvery metallic blue as well. So I'm just going to rush to there as fast as I can, getting all of this on, and see how well them brake calipers have turned out. Hopefully nice. Even that looks quite good in that bluey sort of metallic. Now, it looks relatively standard. I'll admit that. Not the best, but it is. You can see it is very similar, if not the same colour as the rest of that on there. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to get the rest of this front end put together, and then we'll jump over and we'll see how the back end looks with all the colour in there. Here we are then at the rear. Let's have a look. Obviously, you get to paint the rear knuckle housings, which I think is considerably better. I wish you could paint the front ones as well. I wish there was more you could actually paint in this. But that's looking quite smart. I'm happy with how this is looking. Again, let's just get the brake calipers on there. I mean, that's pretty much the back end done now. So let's just get up to the brake calipers, see how they look. Hopefully, it looks good. I mean, it would look the same as it does at the front, or relative similar. It's just how well it looks in the colour matching department. And look, see, it's a bit lighter down here, so you can see that it matches a little bit more. That looks a little better. Obviously, we can't put the drive axles in, and not until the gearbox is in, and we can't do that till the engine's in. So I'm going to get on and get all of this finished, and then we'll get that engine bay sorted out before we go on and get that shiny, shiny V6 engine built up. Painted in the lovely black and some of this light blue and metallic-y silver colour. Looking really nice. So, yep, I'm going to get this finished, and I'll meet you guys back at the engine bay when we sort all of that out. Here we are then. Let's get this engine bay sorted. Radiator and the fan housing to go with it. Some washing things. I've got that's the only thing that's painted in here. Obviously, because that's the only thing that can be painted. The rest of this is pretty much just clear containers and the ABS pump and module. So let's get these on. Can I get the, I can't get the fuel tank in from here. I'll come back to grab all of them fuses. Let's throw the performance air filters into this frame. Looking nice. And what else have we got? The battery sat up here. I think that's it. Oh no, power steering pump or reservoir hiding up there. Nice. That is pretty much engine bay sorted, just the engine and the exhaust to go. I just need to go back and finish off this fuse box, which is the only thing painted, and I did decide to leave it black. So I'm going to get this done, and then we're going to jump on and we're going to get that engine rebuilt. I'm looking forward to that one. Can't wait to see it. Here we are then, ready to get started on this glorious V6 engine. As you can see, the block itself is black, and a lot of this is painted in black as well. There's a few splashes of that lovely metallic blue, mostly on the top and on that timing cover at the front there, which we'll get to in a bit. I'm going to get on and get the rest of this underside here done, get this one flipped over, and then we'll have a look at some of the glorious colour bits on this engine. Definitely getting there with this V6. Now, this is the first of the sort of silvery metallic blue painted on here, and I'll be honest, the more I see this colour, the more I use it, the more it's growing on me. I am starting to really enjoy this colour. Initially, as much as I liked it, I did think it was a little boring, but the more I'm using it, the more it is growing on me. It's looking great. Obviously, we can see here I've got these water pumps in the black. Most of the painted ancillary parts are in black. Just a few splashes of this metallic-y silvery. And the other thing I did want to talk about is this is a weird engine. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if this is a bug or something like that, but it's camshaft A, camshaft A, camshaft B, camshaft A. I don't know why there's 3 camshaft A's and only 1 camshaft B on this engine. There just is. Anyway, I'm going to get on and get all of these plugged in. Did make it weird when I was buying all the parts. But I'll get all of these in, and then we'll get the top half of this all finished off so you can see all the colour in that, because that's when, hopefully, it really starts to pop off. Here we are then. Most of this engine is finished now. Let's get the first cover on. This is in the metallic-y silvery blue. Obviously, it's got the XJ220 written on there. Looking fantastic. One of the other things I need to do is get these clips on here in that lovely metallic blue as well. Just because I like doing clips, opposite colours. Let's get this on as well. And then hopefully we'll be able to get the inserts on as well after we've got the cables in. There we go. Cables in. They're in a gloss, a gloss of that sort of silvery blue, not a metallic. They looked a bit weird. And then these covers here in the black, I really just think sort of pop that off, that extra bit. And then we've also got these intake manifolds in that same bluey silver in the metallic finish. Looking glorious. This engine is looking insane. Black fuel rails and then black throttles. So I'm just going to get these last bits on, and then we'll get this beast dropped inside the car. Now time to drop this beast of a V6 into the Jag. I don't need to move it. I need to get the engine dropped in. There we go. Let's get you popped in there. Let's get you put away, and then I know we can't really see it because of the height we're at. You can see them popping through. They look insane. That engine looks so good in there. I'm very, very happy with that. It is now time to get that glorious gearbox in. I have painted it black to match the most of the rest of the engine. Get the starter in here. Then we need to get these rear drive axles on so that we can sort the wheels out. And we also need to get this exhaust system in as well, don't we? So let's crack on and get this in while we're here. God, that's a big piece, isn't it? Is it just that's it for the exhaust? Looking nice, straight out of the turbo. I wish there was something connecting the throttle, but there we go. Get these last drive axle in, and then I'm going to go sort the wheels out. So I'll be back in a few moments when this car should have some lovely wheels on it. Here we are then. The Jaguar XJ220 is finished. Looking absolutely beautiful. I've tinted the windows so they're all blacked out. Obviously this one doesn't tint, which is nice, but it does tint that one in there, and obviously not quite as big of a tint on the windscreen. As for the wheels, I know I said I was going to leave them plain, but they look lovely in this sort of metallic-y blue colour. Really, really nice. Happy with how they turned out. Now, there are 2 different rims for the XJ220. You've got the XJ220B and the XJ220A. Size-wise, today I've gone, obviously, B's on the rear with a 19-inch 345 width, which is the same as what it says, with a 30 profile. I think it starts at 35 at the front, and they are normally 18s instead of 19s. And at the front, I've gone for 18s. They're normally 17s instead, with a 255 width and a 40 profile. Again, they're normally 45 and 1 inch smaller. But I am so happy with how this car has turned out. It looks absolutely great. I love how that engine sat in there, you know, just them 2 manifolds coming out the top, looking stunning. It is a really great build, and you got the battery just sticking up through the boot there, just in case you wanted to see that. A great build. Love how it's been implemented. It looks stunning, is stunning. But let's jump in and see what this one sounds like. Very, very classic interior. Very well. I'm assuming it is exactly the same as the XJ220. I've never been in one, so I wouldn't know. But let's see what this sounds like. That's a beautiful grumble. Really growly, really growly. And with that turbo whistle at the top end, it is a twin turbo engine in this V6. This is lovely. I love the sound of that. Anyway, let's get it on the dyno and see what horsepower we managed to squeeze out of it. I do love the sound of this engine. It is absolutely stunning. 542 starting horsepower on the Jaguar XJ V6. How much have we squeezed out of it with the performance parts today? Let's have a look. An additional 394 horsepower, that's 73%, bringing the total up to 936. That's pretty good. It should get us down the track pretty fast. But let's head over there and see where we get. Here we are then at the speed track. Just listen to that turnover. It sounds absolutely beautiful. I love it. But let's get the hammer down. Let's go. So I obviously have pit slicks on this to help it stick to the track. It should be quite fast with all that horsepower, just under 1,000. But let's see where we end up. We're already heading towards the 350 mark. We could be smashing a new decent speed here today. There's the 400. Where are we going to end up? Can we get it up to 500? Come on, Jag. No, but 450 kilometers an hour. Very good top speed there. Here we are then for the final time with the Jaguar XJ220. Looking absolutely stunning. I do love this car. It looks amazing. And with all three bits open, it's kind of like got fins. It looks incredible. Looks a bit like a fish. Never mind. This is a glorious car, and 450 kilometers an hour is a very good top speed for it. Does put it 8th in our leaderboard, a joint 8th with the Audi RS6. That was a very fast car as well, and very much enjoyed that one. This is a little bit more beautiful than the Audi RS6, but this is a classic. These are worth an absolute fortune in real life if you can get one. Speaking of how much they're worth, I picked up this car for $13,084 from the junkyard. It was in very bad shape. I was already in good stead. I was already about $2,000 profit on that. I have spent today, though, $63,705 modifying and upgrading this car, putting our total spend for this one at $76,789, and it is absolutely beautiful. I do love it. Even sitting in the passenger seat here is lovely. So that's quite a bit spent on it, but how much can we sell this one for? Let's have a look. Now, only 186,000 kilometers on it, quite low mileage for an old XJ220. Now, with heading up to the nearer end of the 1,000 horsepower mark, how much is it worth, though? 227,778. That's good money. Obviously, minus what we spent, the 76,000, pits our profit at a little over 150,000, at 150,989. That's very, very good profit. More than double what we spent on it. So it is time to say goodbye to the lovely XJ220. It's been a pleasure working on you. Off you go. And up next, for the next video, we have the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 10. I've been looking forward to getting stuck into one of these. I haven't done one yet. Nice engine cover on that one. This is a very, very nice car. This version I have here today is the Ings Plus 1 edition. So I will be matching all of the body kits to that one to keep it original. This one is in red. It probably won't stay red. It might do. I'm going to try and see if there's any cool liveries on it I can get for it to make this one look as cool as we can. As regards to that engine, it's a bit of a beast of an inline one there. Was that an inline 4? I should have just really had a look on the screen, shouldn't I? Yeah, inline 4, double overhead cam, 4-wheel drive. Didn't realise this was 4-wheel drive, so that's a good sign. I did pick it up from the junkyard. As you can see, it's in very, very bad condition. And I did spend a tiny little bit too much on it, which is a shame. But that is what it is. That is it for today's video. You're going to have to tune in next time to find out what we do with this lovely Evo 10. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.